2, and they might be kind of bad right now, right? Up to a 5 or a 6 almost instantly. I mean, we're up against it every day to come up with a thumbnail right before we do 5 episodes of this freaking podcast on a daily basis. We've come up with an incredibly efficient method to create high quality thumbnails that get higher click-through rates because, as you know, the number one thing YouTube cares about, what is it, boys?
Thumbnails.
Thumbnails. We'll be right back with the secrets. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
We are looking at Canva, and we're about to give you our biggest thumbnail secrets. Like AWOL said, we only have about 15 minutes before the show that we prepare for this. We really need to start taking our own advice. But either way, it doesn't matter because that's the whole point of this episode, how to quickly make a thumbnail that's going to be effective and benefit you and YouTube's algorithm. I'm taking a look at this Facebook gaming thumbnail right now that's up on the screen. Typically how we do this is we actually have these templates set up. So if we have an idea for a type of thumbnail that we want to do, we know what episode we're looking for. We have all the elements that we need. We can just go and toss it in, change up some colors if we need to, move things around. We have several different styles, so we can move quick. And that's one of the things that you need to be focusing on as well, is almost doing these in advance, right, guys?
That's right. That's what we do. Well, eventually you want to be doing all your thumbnails in advance before you make your content. And so what you can do to save a lot of time is you can create a set of templates in Canva, and we'll have a link below. We're actually looking into getting you guys a discount code for it. It is the fastest platform to be able to put together thumbnails quickly and on the fly and to collaborate with other people on thumbnails. I've got these two guys and our new thumbnail creator who's coming on board next month. In Canva, you can create designs and collaborate with fellow creators, YouTubers, your editor, whoever it may be, all in this platform. And we're going to show you, we're going to go through the entire process right now of how you can lightning fast create very, very simple looking thumbnails that are high quality just on the fly. Perrin, I'm going to kick it over to you because I'd like us to make a thumbnail right now with your freaking face on it. Let's go.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. So what we normally do is we'll take a template that we're already using. So this is today's thumbnail. And we already have a face on there. We have AWOL's face. Let's just remove that. We don't want his face here anymore. I did take a couple images yesterday. We're going to start with this one where I'm like looking like I'm going to punch something. And
so our audience then, just to take a pause, our audience then, if they want to make thumbnails like this, what they should do is take photos of themselves with their webcam or their camera of them making extreme faces, right? Like open mouth, pointing to the left, looking up, looking down, making every manner of expression possible, right? And take a library of photos like that so that they can cut them out and use them in thumbnails. Is that the idea?
Correct. Wear different shirts. If you've got different pairs of glasses or something, like mix it up, but take them all in advance because the most time-consuming part is actually taking the photo and cutting out a decent one. So we're going to start where I already have that today. We use a tool that simplifies the next part really easily. Like we want to cut ourselves out of the background. You don't need to go into Photoshop and like use the tool to go figure that out. Just use remove.bg. We're going to drag and drop that file into here, and it's going to just do all of the work for us.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay.
There we go. Boom.
So
done.
that would have taken you guys maybe 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how complicated it is, maybe 45 minutes to cut out. Not only does it do human beings, guys, it does game characters too. If your game,
sometimes,
logos sometimes too. If your game character looks humanoid, like if it's like an octopus person, it won't be able to cut out like 8 legs or whatever. But if it looks relatively humanoid, even stuff with armor and helmets on, it'll cut out game characters, human beings, really effectively. And so as you can see, it instantly did it. Now, one thing we should say here, Perrin, right, is it cut out and you can download the high-res version, but that's only because I've paid for credits here. So you can do like a lower res version for free, but if you pay for credits, which are relatively cheap, then you can download the high-res full resolution version up to like 8K or something stupid like that, right?
Yeah, so I've actually already downloaded this, so I'm not going to use an additional credit for it. But yeah, so It's only 1080p, which is the original resolution if you use the credit. So you will need to have a paid account for this. We share one amongst the team. So we just share one account where when we all use it, that works well enough for the rest of us. Once you have a cutout, you can go back to Canva. And this is kind of nice. Let me find my other folder here real quick. You can just drag and drop your image over here. And it automatically takes you to this tab, which is your uploads.
I didn't even know you could drag and drop. I manually clicked on upload, so I'm learning something. So you take the cutout that you downloaded from remove.bg, you drag and drop it into Canva, and now you can use the cutout of your face or a game character or whatever, or a logo or whatever it is, and place it on thumbnails as needed. Awesome. So now your face is getting expanded here. You've got this face on the right, and it's already starting to look a bit more engaging. Before you go to manipulating the text, I actually like to apply a filter here in Canva. If you want to click the filters tab.
That's what I was just gonna do.
Beautiful. Thank you. Go for it.
So this is AWOL's tried and true strategy to the point where it's like boilerplate now. And I do this even for game characters that I'll cut out and bring in, or logos or emblems. I'll normally do this on YouTube and even on Facebook Gaming. Users like things bright. So I was already pretty well lit in this, but now that I'm dropped onto this black background, you can kind of see I'm a bit washed out. Check the solar filter. Use this on almost everything because it just brings up the brightness. It brings up a little bit of warmth, which is a lot more pleasing to look at, and it just makes your results so much better. So especially with human faces, like I said, with game characters, with logos, it can help. The idea is you want to brighten things up in a nice, natural way. So this makes me stand out a lot more. I mean, just look at the difference there, like between 0 and the 50 by default. You can actually go more if you want, but I suggest just tossing on the default and letting that stand, and that should be enough.
Great.
And then text. So then normally what I do once I have that, we can lock this layer. So I'm not going to come back to my face and accidentally move it around because I'm going to want to be accessing this text over here and doing stuff with it.
That makes sense. So really quick, the background back there, one of the great things about Canva, especially if you pay for Canva Pro, you can just delete the background. We'll go through the process of applying a background. If you pay for Canva Pro, it'll give you thousands, like tens of thousands of photos, elements, images, and stuff that you can use for your background. So I don't use elements for the background. I use photos for the background. And for our show, I like to type in gamer. And it pulls up a lot of really cool high contrast images I can use in the background of our thumbnail. So for your thumbnail, Perrin, you just I like to choose a background image that has like the colors and the general kind of design that I would like to have in the background, because what we're going to do is kind of blur it out a bit. We're going to make it super high contrast, and it's going to kind of just be fuzzy in the background to where you can kind of tell what's back there, but it's more of just like it becomes more of a work of art than it does
like a pattern. Yeah,
it becomes more like a pattern. Perfect. So then what I do with those photos is I full screen them. There you go. And then you position it all the way to the back. Beautiful.
Back.
There it is. And then now we're going to adjust it at the top by clicking the adjust button, not the transparency, but you hit the adjust button. And then here, what you're going to do is crank up the contrast to 100%. Crank up the saturation to 100% to bring up all those colors and all that whites. And then what you're going to do is blur it a bit, like 50% blur, 30% blur, and you're going to kind of eyeball it. There you go. Blur it a bit. You see how it's kind of fading into the background, but it adds some depth to the thumbnail now? Beautiful. And then now what you're going to do is crank up vignette all the way so that it adds a little bit of blacks on the sides and kind of gives a little extra contrast. And then there you go. Now you have an original looking, different looking background that's not distracting from the subject in the front, and it lets the text pop and it lets the person on the right pop in the thumbnail as well, giving you a nice blurred and beautiful looking background. This is practical advice here, guys, that we use every day. So you see how fast that was to come up with the original background? One thing you want to avoid is having a super complicated background. I mean, because Ross, I know this is the case on almost every platform, but I mean, almost everybody's viewing on mobile, right?
Oh yeah, the very, very vast majority. And this is why I like this so quick, because have you used Canva's mobile app by chance?
I have, yes.
Does it work the same? Can you still move pretty effectively in it? I actually haven't. And you said mobile, so I just Is that even worth downloading, or is this something that you need to stay at your desktop and do?
Yeah, I just want to be clear. We're not sponsored by Canva. We just use it. We might become an affiliate at some point, but yeah, so the mobile app, you can actually edit all of the thumbnails on your mobile app on Canva. Like while you're sitting on the toilet, you can make your next thumbnail. As long as you have the cutouts already done, you have the templates already done for your thumbnails, you can just plug and play and you can do almost everything we're doing right now. But of course, it's a lot more difficult to have your thumb on your screen to do the really fine tweaking. But if you needed to make something on the fly, you could absolutely make it on your phone quickly, as long as you're comfortable with your templates. So that totally works. And the reason why I was talking about mobile is because most people are going to be watching YouTube videos on mobile very soon, if that hasn't already transitioned over. And so you need to think about your thumbnail being, you know, the half of the size of a credit card on their screen, or less, the size of a quarter on their screen. And so the complicated backgrounds make it a lot more difficult to see the elements in the front of the thumbnail. And so complicated backgrounds are very, very bad. And I think a lot of you guys think that you need to put lots of things in your thumbnail to show. Be like, I want to show that this game character is fighting this game character and they're doing this move and they're using this equipment and this and that. And at the end of the day, you need 3 elements in your thumbnails. That's the like maximum number of elements that you need. And if you look at the example that we're creating right now in Canva, if we want to go back to the Andrew Perrin thumbnail here, the 3 elements are background, Andrew Perrin, and the text. And that's it. And the background should not distract from the most important elements, which are, the most important element here is the text, and the second most important element is Andrew Perrin's face, which is eye-catching. So in this case, go ahead and modify the text there, Perrin. We're going to show them how easy it is to do that.
See if I can select behind. There we go.
All right, it's grouped right now, so if you ungroup it, you can modify the text separately. There you go. And then you could type in whatever you want there.
I lost it.
It's locked. You have to unlock it up in the top right. Boom. There it is.
That's because this was in the way.
That was in the way. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so Canva's not perfect in that regard.
Yeah.
Layering is probably the most difficult thing and challenging thing in Canva. And sometimes you've got to like rearrange stuff to get into the back. But okay, so we can change our text here. We have an example episode we want to change this to, especially since I'm looking like kind of aggressive in the thumbnail.
Just type in like crushing. It doesn't matter. We're just typing in any text at all.
Crushing your YouTube thumbnail.
Crush. Okay, crush YouTube thumbnails. We're not going to make an entire thumbnail, but the point is we're just showing how you can quickly modify the text and it'll fit within the template here. And then move your face back in position and done. Like, you know what I mean? You can just swatch it. Crush, insert logo in middle, thing. And then boom, your thumbnail's done in like 15 minutes. So the question we have here from Gavin Cleary in chat is, I stream through Streamlabs, and is there a way to add thumbnails? For example, you don't want to hit the press go live button on Facebook when you add a thumbnail. So the answer to that is no. So if you're using YouTube events, you can add a thumbnail in the YouTube event before the YouTube event goes live, and it can go auto live for you when we go live. That's how you guys are watching us on YouTube today through Restream. On Facebook, though, Perrin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you do have to, if you're restreaming, if you're using Streamlabs, if you're using anything other to add a thumbnail to Facebook, you still have to manually push go live on Facebook if you want to add a custom thumbnail to your Facebook live stream. Is there a workaround for that, or are you kind of stuck with that now?
I mean, I've been doing the same process for a while. I don't think there's a workaround. You have to go live in Streamlabs or OBS first, and then you want to go live in Creator Studio. And you want to build everything in Creator Studio so that you have a good title. You have a very detailed description. The descriptions like have a really, really long amount of character limit, so you can put a ton of info in there. So it's really important that you put very good info in there, and that you actually put in the top something similar to your title, because not everyone gets to see your title. Sometimes the only thing they see is the first line of your description. So you want to make sure you have a good description. You want to make sure you tag your game there, and that's where you put in the thumbnail. For now, there's no, and I haven't tested Streamlabs multi-stream, but it sounds like, Gavin, from what you're saying, it won't do this. For now, there's no automated way like there is with YouTube to just go live from your streaming software and have the thumbnail be incorporated from that software, you have to use Facebook Creator Studio. And I would recommend don't go live any other way. You'll be losing out on a lot of traction, and you'll be losing out on a lot of the additional features if you're not going live and clicking go live from Facebook Creator Studio. So do it there.
Just to simplify this down even more for the people who are able to watch this, the background there for people listening, there's just like it's just a box that we have the text in. How easy is it to actually bring that box into the background of your text? Just change the color and throw it back there.
Yeah. So what you can do there is go to Elements in Canva, and we can do some Canva tutorials later if you're interested. Go to Shapes, click the box shape. There you go. There's your box. Oh. And you just like make it whatever size you want. You choose whatever color you want, and you can drag out the sides of it, etc. And you can just, we recommend doing high contrast colors. Red on white is good. Black on white is good. Yellow on black is good, whatever it may be. And then you just make the box there to put your text inside of, or put whatever element you want. And they have any type of shape that you'd like to put there. So obviously you can do all of this in Photoshop, and they have different types of boxes and things. But the point of Canva is you can do it on mobile. You can do it on your computer. You can collaborate with other people. And this is what's going to take your thumbnails from a 1 or 2 out of 10 to like a 5 or 6 out of 10 quickly. But end game, you're going to want very, very custom thumbnails in Photoshop, but those will take much longer to create. And if you're pressed for time, this is a good solution. Now, Ross, really quick, we talked about Restream.io earlier. Tell everybody about Restream.io and then drop the link.
If you want to know about Restream.io, you're at the right place. All you have to do to Restream, you can, instead of just broadcasting on one platform like Twitch or Facebook Gaming, you can go do it on every platform at the same time. You can do it on YouTube, Trovo, DLive, Facebook Gaming, Periscope, anywhere that probably a lot of platforms that you haven't even heard of. It's a lot easier to get your voice out there. And the good news is, and AWOL, I don't know if you posted it yet, so I will. We actually have a code so you can get 30% off your first month. We're going to toss it in the chat right now. Just use that promo code DROP1 and you can be restreaming on all platforms at all times.
That's what's up. So really quick here, I want to wrap everything up for everybody in a nice little bow as to why. Go ahead, Ross, you have something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to have, I had 2 quick questions here as far as finding the elements. I know on that element tab on Canva, and I'm not doing a tutorial here, the element tab on Canva, you can find like YouTube logos and stuff like that. How else do you find the elements with a transparent background? Do you just do what I do and typically go to Google Images and search, like a YouTube logo PNG? What's the easiest way for people to find these other elements?
That's what I do. And if you're looking for the official logos of major brands, what you can do instead of just looking for the YouTube logo PNG when you do Google search, and maybe Perrin could show it if you want on Google, and we could pull this up for you guys. But what you can also do is you can Google the official marketing and branding kit for these brands. Ooh. They will have, YouTube has a media site, Amazon has a media site, Twitter has a media site, most major video games have a media site. And if you want the highest resolution, highest quality images, what you can do is actually go to their media site and go download them, like right here. I bet a lot of people are using the old and busted versions of YouTube's logo in their videos, just as an example. But Perrin is here on the official YouTube site for their logo. You can download the dark version, the light version, all the alternate versions, etc. And you should be getting the higher resolution versions, not a kind of busted version of the logo. And one of the reasons why this is important is YouTube's algorithm will scan the imagery in your thumbnails to help determine what the video is about. And if you have the official logo of that particular company, YouTube will scan that and understand that, oh, this video must be about that thing. And if you have a alternate logo, then YouTube might scan it and go, I don't know what this is about. And so it's really important to get the official logos of whatever you're talking about, whether it's a gear company, a technology company, a platform, a game, whatever. Try to get it directly from the media kit, the press kit. Those are things you can search for on Google for that game, and YouTube's Google Eye technology will be able to scan that and will be able to identify that for you. So let's wrap this up in a bow here for everybody today. What you're going to do is you're going to use remove.bg to cut out different images of yourself, like I'm showing on this, like Perrin is showing on the screen right now. You're going to use remove.bg to cut out images of yourself that you've taken or gaming characters that you've taken, remove the backgrounds so that you can use them in thumbnails. Then you're going to go to Canva. You're going to drag and drop those cutouts. You're going to have a picture of whatever it is on the right, the subject matter on the right. You're going to have text on the left that describes it. You're going to have a nice, cool looking background that's kind of blurred out and very simple. And this is an amazing format that works incredibly well on YouTube as you read left to right. People that read in English read left to right. And so when you read this thumbnail, for example, you're going to see Crush YouTube thumbnails first. That's what the video is about. Then you're going to see the engaging face over there on the right, which is going to add more punch to it. And you realize this person is going to teach me about this thing. Awesome. I am now going to click that video. Your crappy, overcomplicated thumbnails are going to get a lower click-through rate than this type of thumbnail. And if you'd like more detailed feedback, if you'd like a more one-on-one approach for me to help you with your thumbnails, I've helped YouTubers with their thumbnails, folks that have millions of subscribers and every video makes them like $50,000, down to people that have like couple hundred subscribers and they're not even monetized yet. I can help you with your thumbnails if you're interested in one-on-one coaching. So go ahead and go to my website. If you don't mind posting the link for me, or actually I can post it in the chat there. But awaldigital.com, you can schedule one-on-one coaching with me, AWOL. I'm happy, Dara, I just posted it there. I'm happy to help you with your thumbnails. Go to the site or click the scheduler tool I just posted in chat. Go ahead and select your time. And you can confirm me for any time, any date you want that I have available, and I'll work with you one-on-one on your channel strategy, your thumbnails, your online business, diversifying revenue. Boom, you pay, I'm instantly booked, and I'm there helping you out. I've helped hundreds of creators with their thumbnails, thousands through e-learning and courses, and I'm happy to help you as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Digital Drop podcast today. And we'll have links below if we can get affiliate and discount codes for you for Canva in particular, so that you guys can up your thumbnail game instantly like